Forgive me for the length of this, and if it's too much, feel free to skip. But I feel like some of the details are important to truly grasp, but the type of person I am talking about. So this friend started out as a coworker. Most of my coworkers didn't have any patience for her aside from myself and maybe two others. She definitely had her quirks with things like being high-strung, taking way too long to do certain tasks, making bigger deals out of things that truly didn't matter. She isn't a bad person by any means, but she bumped heads with a lot of people, and I definitely understand their frustrations. I felt bad for her and the fact that she was always the odd man out, even though it didn't seem to bother her lol. Also because it seemed as though she didn't have many friends in general. Even though she supposedly went to this super prestigious college and was a debutante. So when I would have little movie/wine nights at my house, I started to invite her and she was super excited to be included. But this would end with her not leaving. Things would wind down. Everyone else would eventually go on their way. But not her. She would just make herself more comfortable and act like we were about to make a night of it. Even after giving the usual hints and saying things like, well, it's getting late, she wouldn't take the hint. I've never experienced someone acting this way, so I thought maybe I wasn't clearly conveying the fact that she needed to leave. This happened on a few occasions, with one time her claiming to be too drunk and just deciding to go help herself to laying down in my bed. I was completely taken aback, but also too tired to really deal with it, so in the morning I expected her to just grab her stuff and go. Maybe even feel a little embarrassed that she just invited herself to a sleepover in my bed. Nope. She pops a squat at my kitchen table and asks if I have coffee. There were other things that happened as well. Even though she was in her mid-30s, she seemed to constantly be reinventing herself, which isn't necessarily a negative thing. But it would be because she liked a certain man and would turn herself into what she thinks they would want based on their hobbies, personality likes. It reminded me very much of what high school girls do who have never been in a relationship before. So they pretend to be someone else in order to get a guy's attention. For example, she liked this one guy. They only spoke over social media. Even though he lived locally and they had been chatting for over a year, he never made any attempt to meet her. It was clear to the rest of us that he was being polite and nice, but had no real interest in her. But she knew one of his things was that he loved and owned a certain breed of dog. I so happened to have owned that breed of dog myself. So she wanted to have a wine night one evening. So my friend and I are at my house waiting on her. We are just having a laid-back girls' night, and so we are basically in pajamas. She shows up dressed to the nines with a full face of makeup and hair freshly done as if we are going out on the town. She then proceeded to ask where my dog is. Mind you, she's not an animal lover and has never shown an interest in any of my pets really. So my friend and I are just looking at each other really confused. She finds my dog, hands us her phone and asks us to take a bunch of pictures of her with the dog. Has a full-on photo shoot with my dog lol. Looking back on it now, all I can do is laugh at how ridiculous it was. Of course, she posted the pics on social media hoping to get the guys' attention. It didn't work the way she thought it would. We tried explaining to her in a nice way that if someone is truly interested in you, they will make an effort. But she's the type of person who has tunnel vision, and you can't tell her anything. Not too long after her failed photo shoot, she decided to randomly show up at his job to bring him a gift because she knew it was his birthday. Mind you, she has never met him before. They mostly talk on social media and have talked on the phone a few times. So, she just shows up at his job like a crazy person. She even takes a video with him and posted it online, and it's so second-handedly cringe and embarrassing because you can see how uncomfortable he is and just how awkward the entire thing is. Apparently, this also didn't go in her favor, and she stopped talking about him, blocked him on social media, and deleted the pictures of her and my poor dog from her page as well. But she was constantly doing things like this. Eventually, I, like everyone else, grew tired of her shenanigans, her lack of boundaries, the way she started to openly talk down on my other close friends because she didn't like them and they didn't like her. She would make everything about herself. There was even an incident at my house where I was having a going-away party for one of my very close friends. My other friend and her husband, who were on the verge of a divorce, ended up having a verbal altercation, and she tried to stick her 2 cents in, which resulted in the husband slamming the door in her face as he was leaving. She got super upset and emotional and basically wanted everyone to baby and comfort her. She kept saying, "He knows me, he knows me. I can't believe he treated me like that." That was another thing she did that was very strange, by the way. She could have one interaction with a person and claim that she knows them and they know her. Like in a close way, Not a passing acquaintance type of way, if that makes sense. She would also just randomly call or text me and tell me that she was going to be in my area in the next 30 to 45 minutes and wants to know if she can stop by. I told her on several occasions that I'm not a last-minute type of person and I need more notice. She would say, okay, then literally a week later try the same thing again. Needless to say, I got sick of giving her the benefit of the doubt and her presence was just bringing drama and stress to my life. So I started distancing myself. She actually ended up moving away for a while, which helped. But she came back not too long ago and she's been trying the same things again. Calling me out of nowhere and asking if she can come over because she's going to be in my area. I have told her no every single time. I just can't do it anymore and I know I already put up with way more than most people would. But I truly did feel sorry for her and thought that maybe having a friend would help. But she clearly needs more than a friend. Yes, as far as I know, she is in therapy and has been for quite a while. Maybe she needs to find a different outlet of some type.